While the United States had first emerged on the global stage during the Spanish-American War in 1898, it would play an even more significant role during World War I. What began as a relatively small conflict in Europe soon expanded into a massive war. The United States maintained neutrality at first, but under the leadership of President Woodrow Wilson, the country would join the fight. This was an idealistic generation in many ways, as represented by the striking steel workers you see here, and they would be no different at war. Wilson called to the nation on grand and idealistic terms. He spoke of a war to end all wars. His 14 points, the goals he proposed for the resolution of the conflict, included freedom of the seas, open trade, and the creation of a mediating body to help nations prevent future wars. When America entered the conflict, all Americans were called upon to help the war effort. Children participated in scrap drives. Women took on new jobs or rolled bandages to support the troops. Others sold Liberty bonds, which raised money for the government to use in the war. The events of the war were both dramatic and tragic. This slideshow is accompanied by a screencast introducing you to the interactive timeline at the World War I Memorial. When you visit that site, you will learn more about the events of the war itself. At the conclusion of the war, America emerged transformed. The nation's ideals had been tested in bold ways. Once a largely isolationist country, the United States was now willing to participate in foreign affairs. The war had tested the nation's values, though. During the conflict, the United States cracked down on internal dissent, reviving sedition laws, and punishing those who spoke out against the government. The teaching of the German language in schools was banned, as was the playing of German music. This membership card reminds us of the American Protective League, whose members swore to seek out German sympathizers and other radicals. While we fought to support the values of democracy and autonomy abroad, we had not honored them at home. At the close of the war, President Wilson would have achieved only some of his goals. He did not manage to convince the Allies that peace without victory was the best option. He had hoped they would treat Germany gently and create a League of Nations to foster meaningful dialogue leading to a peaceful post-war era. Wilson's plan could not have been much further from what actually transpired. Britain and France would levy heavy reparations against Germany, requiring the government to pay high sums of money for their role in provoking the war. These were expenses that Germany struggled to bear, and which exacerbated the nation's suffering during the 1920s. Wilson's dream of a League of Nations did happen, but he was unable to persuade his own citizens to support the entry of the United States into the League. It would be formed, but America would not join, forfeiting an opportunity to broker a peaceful post-war world. Many Americans looked at these results of the war and wondered why we had been involved at all.